that later. Over to Shurikane's view right now. Shurikane's second in points overall, but the lobby's so close that might not count for much over the next couple games. Really is going to be lying on the play itself. He does have the blue buff on Ziggs early. No Ziggs 2 yet, but this is going to be a board that, you know, if you're going to lose, you're not going to lose a ton of HP usually with this.
Yeah, I really like this start. Blue buff Ziggs or blue buff Brand. Also has the Warmogs on Leona, which again, very powerful item in the early game. That 1000 health is just a lot of power. So would fully expect him to start winning. It seems like it was the kind of thing that just came online because he lost the first round. But from here, I would expect some very powerful wins. I personally favor the Brand here. Brand can do some pretty crazy stuff, but Ziggs is much easier to get online.
Technically tied for top points in the lobby right now, too, as you can see on the right side there. So even after that 8th in game number 3, he's still in a position to do pretty well if he can just finish out strong. Meanwhile, Zhishinche from China is struggling a little bit. 11 points, and it'd be crazy to see 2 of our Chinese players get knocked out in the first 2 days, but you almost start having a little bit of Set 4 Worlds flashbacks, right? Where all the Chinese players were eliminated by the end of day 2. Certainly was not the result any of us were expecting here. And it'd be kind of crazy if history sort of repeated a little bit.
Yeah. Now the 3 Skirm, 3 Sentinel start is very strong here. Has good items. And the other thing is here, by locking in the Banshee, really slowed down the pace of Shurikane's comp. Because Ziggs had to go through 3 shields before he could do anything. And that's going to give him a win. So that early Banshee slam was definitely the deciding factor in this fight.
Yeah, we're going to go over and see what our current lobby leader and win streaker Zhishinche is up to. Sentinel Skirmisher still going on like we saw earlier. I mentioned the strength of the Banshee's Claw at that point. But it's been interesting watching these lobbies for a lot of reasons. And one of those is because just the trends we've seen have shifted so drastically. We had like a game earlier where more than half the lobby went in an AP direction. Now people are back on the AD hype train. So, yeah, we'll see where things end up. But it certainly seems like this is also one of the more flexible lobbies I've seen in a while, where the players are willing to play a very wide variety of comps.
Yeah. Definitely. So my expectation here from this point is that this will become a Lucian board, like we talked about with the Jeweled Gauntlet. Possibly, if you can get a Radiant IE, you can go the crit version of Lucian that can be very, very powerful.
I mean, he does at least have the Frozen Heart now for the Kennen 2 when he wants to build it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something. Yeah.
And again, this is what separates Milk from a lot of other players. I know I personally at this point would be pretty panicked. I'd be rolling down, trying to hit it, try to stay alive. Milk at 27 health is just like, no problem. Gonna toss a few more rounds and get as many rolls as I can. But you do see, look, he's holding the Kleds. I love this. He's holding the Kleds. This is the weakness of coming in as a one trick, is that you leave yourself vulnerable to this type of counterplay.
Yep. And like we saw last game, it doesn't mean you have to full on hold hands to 7 and 8. You just grab a couple of them and make it like incrementally harder. And those extra couple rounds of HP loss that Delicious Milk might incur because of it definitely can knock you out of top 4 contention.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Oslo does have a bit of a weak board, though, so it's still not going to win the fight. Doesn't hurt Milk too much here. So obviously they're going to be weaker for now. But as soon as they all drop below 40, they're going to get massive spikes. And so we're going to see a big power spike from a lot of people. On the other side, Ak looking to play the MF comp, but still on MF1. That is not a good spot to be in.
Also, Saluka's been taking all the misfortunes over on the other board. So yeah, Ak really not finding the core unit that you really need. He even committed the Radiant item to it, too.
He'll feel pretty good.
Back over to Ujjal's board again. And his Korean ID is actually Ujjo, which is basically means show off, which is kind of a cool ID. Very swag.
Okay, on the other side here, we see Gluteus with 2 Spellweaver spats. I'm trying to count here. I think if he has 6 Spellweaver, though, that is a lot of damage. 6 Spellweaver Fiddlesticks is almost, I'm not going to say guaranteed first, but it is a lot of power because you get so much spell damage so quickly. And because of Revenant, you can't really do anything against it. We do see Shurikane here, though, with the Garen 2 with really good Garen 2 items. Those are amazing items. So that was big. We're on board with Ak, who I do think is the weakest in the lobby. Still hasn't hit the MF3. And this is, like I said, we're at the point now where I feel like everybody is starting to hit their spikes. And so now we're going to get a really good idea of where everyone is in the lobby. Esha with a Force of Nature, by the way. But this Viego doing a lot of work here.
Yeah, and that Diana too, setting things up, giving Aphelios the time to cast, but then the Viego comes in. The Frozen Heart, he's not gonna, I don't think he's gonna take him right away, but he is gonna deny him long enough that Esha takes a pretty decent hit there.
Yep.
But with this Lucian comp, certainly starting to come back a little bit. 6 Sentinel Lucian, great items on the solution. The crit build is something that's pretty popular, and he's got the Fist of Fairness, so it's pretty great.
Yeah, again, I can't sing this comp's praises enough, but this is just a very strong version of the comp. A lot of damage. Does unfortunately get interrupted by the Volibear, but as soon as that second cast comes, I expect to see just a lot of domination here. And with that Fist of Fairness, you just see the amount of damage this Lucian can crank out is just too much, even for the Teemo. We might see a cruel finish here, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We might see a cruel finish here.
It is indeed cruel. Check out Delicious Milk's board for now. Never did find that Kennen 3. He does have a strong Kled 3, but again, this isn't exactly the best pledge board you can muster, right? It's going to be a little bit on the weaker side compared to some of the other ones we've seen. Does get the Hellion onto Gwen, which is okay, but it's kind of those like little things that may or may not make a big difference here. With all the AP in the lobby too, we can see him, you know, focusing on the Mystic 2 rather than putting in like the Ironclad 3 here.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a tough matchup here, going up against the Garen, and he has the Deathblade. This Aphelios is going to get a lot of stacks. It's going to come down to how long the Kennen can hold it. Thankfully, the Kennen does his job here. The Kennen did his job there and does win the fight. So, mainly close play here. 6 players alive, 6-2. This feels just like last game.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
we could lose 3 players this round.
This is like, I think this might actually be the closest lobby I've ever seen in a day of TFT. Just the consistency at which we have games like this has been pretty nuts. I was watching the sidebar. Also Seleucus hit the Kale too. He's gonna give his board a little bit of strength.
Is that Lucian? Okay.
Is it?
That is Lucian 3.
It's
Lucian 3.
Right. Well, let me introduce our lobby winner, guys. It's Jishin Che. Finds the Lucian 3. Nobody else is going for it. And we did see the Vel'Koz 3, so a lot of other 4-costs taken out of the pool, making it easier to hit.
Yep.
Even takes out that Garen 2 that we just talked about being so tanky, but not against something like
not
this.
Even close.
Shurikane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shurikane's going out. That is the last person you want to run into if you're Shurikane.
Shurikane
manages
out,
to sneak a 5th.
Out. So that means Gluteus versus Milk. How did Vel'Koz do against? And Milk in. Oh, but Milk does pull a 4th here. Wins just enough here, so Milk's got to be real happy about that. And so now at this point, I think we have to favor the Lucian here, but it is going to come down to the Diana. Can the Diana disrupt this Lucian? Because if you can disrupt it and get it into range of the Aphelios ult, and the Aphelios ult goes off and hits the Lucian, you can win this. It's very unlikely, but it is possible.
It is possible. There's an Akshan 2 with a Deathblade and a Bloodthirster over there as well, which makes it even more scary. Did he find? Okay, did he get the right angle? He didn't get the right side with the Diana either.
Yeah.
It's looking like it might just be all said and done for Jishin Che. Stun comes through anyway.
Ooh, there was the first one, but right back to full, and that's it.
Yep. I mean, that's what we were talking about, right? Where there's those little windows where maybe you could burst Solution down, but it's not going to happen.